Well, when it's quiet, they have a microphone.
I mean, I just say, if anyone has a question about any of the articles.
I don't believe it.
How are you? You guys been back for a while?
A week.
Oh, okay. I thought I passed you guys the other day. Yeah. It was warm when you got back, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when.
Okay. Yep, bye.
Yeah, it was kind of chilly. Steve said he was going to wear shorts. He showed up in shorts.
How many jobs are going on?
At least 4 active ones. At least 4. We're doing one in town on Cabot Street. We're doing one in Hanover. Whitefield, building an addition, so we're doing that. Some stuff for Yasko's on Roberto.
Do they still mow?
Yeah. So they couldn't sell it. Like, nobody would buy it. They would just want to. They're moving the whole business over there. So, converting, massively turning up a bunch of stuff, converting spaces.
Oh, they are.
The whole house, they're doing a bunch of stuff. But, so Steve told Randy, told them to talk to Randy first and switch it over to commercial use before we do any more. But, yeah, so they're going to at least make use of it. I don't know what else. It's so massive. So big. I worked there a ton and I've never been through the whole house. Have you been in? Yeah. Yeah. I tripped a breaker there one time, and I think I found like 4 panels, and I still couldn't find the breaker. Like I was. No. I don't know. I don't usually work with them. Usually Matt does, just because he's worked for them since he worked with Jim Keith. You know,
Very simple value.
they really like him, so.
Vintage old gas, I got how many feet good?
See you guys.
Just the square footage of where your existing building is, square footage of the new one story, big story.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on this beautiful day. All right, we call our annual town meeting for May 21, 22 to order. Our Article 1, elect a moderator by written ballot to preside over said meeting. So, I have nominations for moderator.
Nominate.
Mr. Lake nominated Vern Maxfield. Second. Okay, any other nominations for moderator today? Seeing none, we'll close the election for moderator and we need to cast 3 ballots. I have any takers for who'd like to raise a ballot? Anyone else like to raise? Moderator? Betsy. I'll give it to you, you'll read single.
I could let go of it.
Okay, very much. Vern. You're it, Vern. Thank you. Okay. Moderator, so, do you burn next? Do you swear that you support the Constitution of the United States and the law and the thereof? You swear that you will discharge all duties incumbent upon you as our moderator for this meeting and election according to the Constitution and laws of the state?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me or do you want the volume? Good morning. Is it still not working yet? Is it? It's all the way over.
Something now.
That's working.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Yes. Good morning again. Just a few things as usual before we get started. I'd like your approval for the use of the main moderator's manual. If we have any procedural things that we need to look at, all okay with using the main moderator's manual? Good, thank you. If an article does not include the amount of money, please put that amount of money in the motion when you make the nomination. I will not accept a negative motion or a pass over the article motion. I know we have one that's going to be a little bit in that vein this morning, Article 24. We're going to have to defeat it, I believe, because it's an ordinance that hasn't had a public hearing. And the attorneys didn't get the paperwork done in time, so we can't approve it, we can't pass over it, so we'll have to vote it down if that's your pleasure. And everybody's going to have a chance to speak if you want to speak to any of the articles. I usually like to have a second or third person speak before I let the first person speak again, just out of being polite and proper. So we will move in that fashion. It has not usually been a problem. And I won't take a move the question article right off the bat. It has to have a little bit of discussion before we can move the article and vote on it. At least I think that's fair to everybody. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. Article 2 says to elect a selectman, assessor, and overseer of the poor by written ballot for a 3-year term starting July 1st, 2022. At this time, I take nominations for selectman, assessor, and overseer of the poor.
I nominate Norman Milliard.
Very good. There's a nomination for Norman Milliard.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Thank you. Any other nominations? Not seeing any. I'd ask for a motion for nominations to cease.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Nominations are now ceased at this time. I can ask if no one wants to address the crowd before we proceed to vote, or if you're all okay.
I'm okay. I'll leave it up to the crowd as to whether or not they want me.
You're all set. At this time, I ask you to bring in your ballots for selection.
Come on down.
Have all voted who wish to vote?
Come on back.
One more coming. Thank you. All of you voted who wish. I now declare the ballot box closed and ask that the ballots be counted. There are 28 ballots cast, and all 28 belong to Milliard. I can declare him selectman assessor and overview report. Norman. It just occurred to me that if Wayne Hackler was here, he would be saying, "Why haven't you saluted the flag?" So please stand.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Article 3, shall the town vote to accept the following stipend for the Board of Selectmen for the ensuing year? The selectmen, assessors, and overseers of the board, $150 per month for each selectman. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept $150 per month for each selectman for the course of the year. Any discussion or questions? Not seeing any then, I'd ask you to vote. All those in favor of Article 3 is read, please indicate. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 3 is approved as presented. Article 4, see if the town will vote to increase the property tax levy limit of $1,369,169 established for Greenwood by the state law in the event that the municipal budget approved under the preceding articles will result in a tax commitment that is greater than the property tax levy limit. The statement of fact is that every effort has been made to hold budget increases to a minimum. If adopted as presented, the budget will result in a tax commitment that is below the property tax levy limit. If the preceding articles are increased in excess of $5,352 by the voters, we will have exceeded the property tax levy limit. A vote on this article requires a written ballot. If approved, increases do not result in a tax commitment in excess of $1,369,169. No vote is required. We have a motion on Article 4.
So do we vote even though we're not increasing?
I know.
And we go through this every year.
Why can't we put, is there a law requiring we have to do this at the beginning? This makes more sense to do it at the end.
Does it? Okay. Dennis,
Vern, I make a motion that we move Article 4 to be voted on after Article 21,
after Article 21, okay?
which is the end of the expenditures, I believe.
Okay, I have a motion to move Article 4 to take place after Article 21. Do I have a second? Did I get a second? Yep, okay, good. Any question or discussion on that motion?
I second.
Having no discussion, I'd ask you to vote. All those in favor of moving Article 4 to after Article 21, please indicate by raising your card. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 4 is moved to after Article 21. Article 5, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the administrative budget. Selectmen and Budget Committee recommend a total of $308,350. Could I have a motion, please? Yes, Dennis.
Vern, I'll make the motion that we approve Articles 5 through Article 21, simply because the selectmen and the budget committees approved everything, and there doesn't seem to be any points of contention.
Okay, the motion is to move to vote on Articles 5 through 21 in one vote, as they are presented with the amount of monies that are printed in the warrant. Any, can I have a second?
Second.
Good. Any discussion or question? I would let you know that at this time, if you want to discuss any one of those articles, if you want to talk about the money or the procedure in any one of them, this is the time to do it. You can look at any one of them before you vote on all of them at once. Otherwise, they're in vote. Any question on any of them? Don't see any, so I'm going to ask you for your vote. All those in favor of Articles 5 through 21, as they're presented, as they're written, with the monies involved, all those in favor of those articles, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. Those opposed? Articles 5 through 21 have been approved as originally presented. Article 4. We've already read Article 4, but we have to vote on that at this time because it's on the warrant and you've moved it to this position, right?
So we have to defeat this, or do we?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what we do, right?
But we do have to vote on it, and it does say that it has to be by written ballot. So,
How many?
3 or 4 is fine.
Okay. Just trying to speed it up.
Yeah.
Kim doesn't have to sit there and cut and count.
Yeah. But at this time, I don't think I need to bore you with reading it again. Yes?
Well, I may be missing something, but the last sentence on that page says, if approved increases do not result in a tax commitment in excess of blah, 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 no vote is required.
Right.
Have I misread that?
I know that's what it says,
That's not what it means.
but the protocol in me says you got to vote on it.
So are we voting no or yes?
Yeah, you're gonna end up with a
It
tie.
doesn't, the vote doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but it should be consistent. I mean,
Yeah.
So what we're voting on is if we had increased those
Yeah.
figures so that the total was over 1,369,169, we would approve of that.
Yeah.
Or we would not.
Right.
But we haven't, so it doesn't.
And you haven't increased
So
anything
you
by
can vote no and not approve.
vote no is the way to vote.
Good. Thank you.
Just say no.
So at this time, if you bring in your ballots, we'll take care of it.
Let's make an ask.
Next Thursday. Get it to the and they feel
If all the voted in favor, let the ballots vote again, and the ballots be counted.
children's craft table. No, it isn't a craft table, just a kid. You know, so would you be an advisor on that if we get? They're county. You understand they're county. They're doing business here.
See, if we hadn't voted, you would have missed out on your chance to cast your vote, which you
Watch it's gonna be a tie.
1 is for no.
20 votes cast, all 20 are no, Article 4 is defeated, because you haven't raised budget by more than the allotted amount. Article 22, shall the town vote to enact the Town of Greenwood amended land use building code ordinance? The recommendation is that there are several housekeeping amendments to bring this ordinance up to date with state regulations. Several residents requested changes to the side and rear setbacks from property lines from 20 feet to 10 feet. Could I have a motion, please?
I move to not approve this article until all the housekeeping articles are final.
This one's all set, isn't it?
This isn't, didn't you just say there's,
It's Article 24 that hasn't been had the public hearing, not this one.
but you just read there are several housekeeping amendments to bring this ordinance up. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right,
I move approval.
thank you. Do you have a second? We have, it's been moved, and seconded. Any question on Article 22? Yes, Brian?
Yeah, I got a question from the fire chief. Wouldn't moving buildings closer to each other be a problem? If someone built 10 feet to the line and 10 feet to the other line, that doesn't give you much room.
I agree with that in some instances. I do believe that that's bringing us up to date with the state regulations. Is that correct? Is that read it? So that's bringing us in line with what the state says we're already okay to do.
Yeah, but you always believe what the state...
The government. I'm okay with that, of course.
Any other questions? If not, I call for your vote. All those in favor of Article 22 as read and explained, please indicate. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 22 is approved as presented. Article 23, shall the town vote to enact the Town of Greenwood amended shoreland zoning ordinance? The recommendation is that the Town of Greenwood Planning Board recommends these amendments as they are required by the state of Maine. Could I have a motion, please?
Move approval.
Thank you. Been moved and seconded. Any question or discussion on Article 20? Yes, sir.
What precisely are the changes to these recommendations?
Can somebody kind of...
You know, like how far back from a lake, how far back from stream, if that's covered in this ordinance?
Did you get one of these?
Good question. Dennis, you want?
Yeah, the biggest restriction on this, what the state did many years ago, probably 8 or 10 years ago, they came up with this new ordinance. Towns could elect to either opt into it or not. The biggest change is what you can do to a building within X feet of a pond or a stream and whatnot. It's super restrictive, but it doesn't matter because at this point, the planning board has to abide by state rule because the state, after 80% of the towns in the state of Maine did not adopt this, the state came and said, it doesn't matter, you have to go by it. So you have to vote for this, unfortunately.
Anything further? Any other questions? If not, then I'd ask you to vote. All those in favor of Article 23 is read and explained, please indicate by raising your card. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 23 is approved as presented. Article 24 is the one that we have to defeat. At least that's what seems to be the procedure. Article 24, shall the town vote to enact the Town of Greenwood amended Greenwood Fire Department ordinance. There are several housekeeping amendments to bring to this ordinance to up to date with the state regulations and town policies. We can get some explanation after we get a motion on the floor. Got a motion, please?
So to defeat the article.
And we have to approve, we have to make a positive motion.
Oh, okay.
Just accept it, right?
Yeah.
As read.
Yeah, move it as read. Yeah.
Move it as read.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded as read. Now we can explain or discuss it. Anybody want to do that, or?
So we can't technically vote on this because it hasn't had a public hearing because we haven't heard from the state in time to do that ahead of our town meeting. So,
So that thing's just defeated.
Right, this time,
Just to see.
you can always bring it back. If you're all ready for the vote, I'd ask you for it, unless there's another question.
No, I was just gonna, is this gonna come back to special town meeting then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Ken.
The selectman town manager and I have gone over the existing ordinance, made very few amendments. Most of it's just a couple of wording adjustments. There are no big changes, no big structural changes to the ordinance. It's just a procedural event that's happening here, why we can't vote on it today.
Correct.
Very good, thank you. With that said, all those in favor of Article 24 as presented, please indicate by raising your card. Those opposed? Article 24 is defeated as necessary. Thank you very much. Article 25, to see if the town will vote to set dates when taxes on real estate and personal property shall be due and payable, and after which interest shall accrue. The recommendation is 2 installments of payments. The first one is due Friday, October 3rd, 2022, with interest starting on Monday, November 1st. And the second installment is due Friday, April 3rd, 2023, with interest starting on Monday, May 1st, 2023. Can I have a motion, please? Yes.
I make a motion that the rest of the articles be,
Let's deal with
there's
this.
a point where you can do it, right?
Let's do this one, and then you can make that motion.
Okay.
Now that we're all the way in.
Okay, I was wondering, I said, is the point where you say that?
You can do it between articles.
Okay.
But if this, any question on Article 25, on 25, is it good, yes, no?
Kim, who determines the interest rate?
The state.
Okay, so the interest rates are going up and up and up now on almost everything. So is this the current interest rate? That's the way it's written?
Yes,
Wait,
on
no, it's
Article 26,
Yeah.
4% is what the state treasurer allows us to do.
Okay, thank you.
They set it for the year. The state treasurer sets it every year. Any other question on Article 25? Not seeing any, I'd ask for your vote. All those in favor of Article 25 as written and discussed, please indicate. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 25 is approved as presented. Article 26, to see if the town will set a rate of interest to be paid after the due date on delinquent taxes. Recommendation is 4%, the maximum allowed by Henry Beck, Treasurer of State. Do I have a motion on Article 26, please?
So moved.
So moved. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any question on Article 26? Yes, sir.
Is that an annualized interest rate, Kim, or is that on, like, say, after the first 6 months, somebody pays 4% on that, or is
It's annualized.
annualized? Thank you.
Anything else? Not seeing anything then, I'd ask for your vote. All those in favor of Article 26 as read and explained, please indicate. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 26 is now approved as presented. Article 20, oh, you want to,
You're quick. I want to be quicker. Make a motion that the rest of the articles through and including 34 be voted on as a group and approved as read, because they're all administrative.
The motion on the floor is to approve Articles 28 through 34 as presented, as written, with no changes. If you want to discuss any one of them, or have a question on any one of them, you can do that now. And I would open up the floor for you to do that if you choose. Anybody have any questions on any of them? Are you happy with that motion?
I'm going out to 27, and take that up.
Right.
I'm going from 26
Article
to
27.
No, if he wants to do 27 through 34 in one vote.
Right.
Yes, we
I
did all
thought
the-
I
all
thought it
the
said,
expenses.
I thought it said 48.
Did I say 28?
Oh.
I backtrack and I will.
Somebody's paying attention.
The motion has been, the motion is now Article 27 to 34. Comfortable with that? Okay.
As long as I,
Long time is, okay. We're good then. Any questions on Articles 27 through 34? Not seeing any then? I don't want to hurry you, but I will ask you to vote. All those in favor of approving Articles 27 through 34 consecutively, as they're presented, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. Those opposed? Articles 27 through 34 are now approved as presented. And that concludes our meeting. Did we make a half an hour? Thank you all. Nice here. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor of adjournment? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.